What is poppin'? What's going on, everybody? Let's look at Xtao. So, I've had a few people reach out to. I've been talking about Bittensor for a few months now, and I've been spamming my socials about it. I've had a few people, message me like, "Dude, how do I get into Tao? What is Bittensor? Like, do I have to download like a crypto wallet? All this stuff, right?" Now, for the people who really don't want to do all that extra work, don't want to open up a crypto wallet, have their own seed phrase and take care of it, for some people, this is like kind of a stressful thing. And I don't blame them. So, for the people who really don't want to own the actual commodity of Tau, you can get exposure to Bittensor and Tau through digital asset treasury companies. Now, Xtao is one of them, and there's also Taox. That's another one. So I'm going to be breaking both of these down in a video and explain like why I like the technical setups and etc. So let's get into it, right? This is Xtao, and right now it's listed on the TSXV. So again, none of this is financial advice, of course, but what I like about Xtao is that one, it is dirt cheap per share, right? So again, and this is the way I think of this right now is I'm just positioning myself for tax-free exposure to Bittensor. My core holdings is in subnets on the Bittensor ecosystem. But I also think it's super beneficial to own some of this in a tax-free sheltered account because once Bittensor starts to really rally, names like this are going to benefit drastically. It kind of reminds me of DeFi. I'll go for a quick little example here. But DeFi, if you look back here, this is a company that essentially they host a bunch of products overseas in Europe that give retail investors access to Solana and other cryptocurrencies through their ETP products or ETF products. So you could think of them kind of like a digital asset treasury in some way. Now, the cool thing about DeFi is, for example, they had a very successful ETF, Solana based ETF, and this name, DeFi, outperformed Solana in the 2023 to 2024 bull run, right? So you've seen Solana go from like $8 to 200, and you see DeFi here going from 9 cents to $6, right? And that happened over the span of just over a year, right? So with these digital asset treasury companies, you see that opportunity to get that significant upside. Again, this was DeFi was also listed on the Neo exchange in Canada. I'm not saying the same thing is going to happen here with Xtao, but I am positioning myself in case the opportunity does come, right? So right now, nobody knows about Bittensor, right? But when the number, unfortunately, people start paying attention to shiny objects. So when you see eventually that Bittensor starts getting the attention it deserves, is likely going to be when, the price is significantly higher. So if we can see Bittensor go from 300 to 3,000 in the next couple of years or higher, what do you think is going to happen to Xtao in the tax-free account, right? So right now we could be gathering very cheap shares of Xtao, and really the sky's the limit, right? We've seen what happened with DeFi. Things can get really crazy here. We're sitting at 55 cents. Who knows, right? So from 300 to 3,000 over a couple of years, that's a 10x. What we're seeing here with Xtao, if we know that they might potentially outperform the performance of Bittensor, the digital asset treasury company itself in Xtao, could give you that massive, who knows, higher than a 10x opportunity potentially. So I really like the technical setup here. We're starting to get this rounded bottom. around these levels, and I really like this base that's it's trying to form here. So I really want to pay attention to this over the next few months. We're already starting to see some relative strength with Bittensor, right? Like the rest of the market, due to macroeconomic factors, are kind of, struggling, right? Everything's kind of suppressed because of what's going on in the world, right? So what we need is for time to pass and eventually these macroeconomic factors to get solved. And then once that happens, I think we have a green light scenario here for Bittensor. And that also will correlate to Xtao. Now, when we look at Tau X, it's pretty interesting because it's a little bit more, it's got a lot more liquidity listed on the NASDAQ. And the setup here is gorgeous, really. We had some support, we broke below it. We have this like falling wedge type of pattern. We got the breakout, and it's the first time here that we've seen an uptrend in quite some time. So we were creating lower highs and lower lows, and for the first time we created our first higher high, and now it looks like we're starting to try to test and see if we can create a higher low here. I think what we're looking at is a move back towards $10. Again, names like this tend to outperform the actual commodity, like how Bittensor Tau performs. The DATs likely will outperform. That's what we've seen in the past. Look at MSTR, look at DeFi. I think now is a cool time to be allocating to these assets. That's just my opinion, and that's what I'm doing. But the technicals are also aligning up with this thesis right now. So I thought I'd break this down, give you guys some alternative options here that you might not have been privy to. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.